Yo, welcome to another episode of Art Killz Boredom, the podcast. I'm your host, Creative J. I got, my family in here. I got John Quest on the
What
boards.
up,
I
everybody?
got Bundy McBuckets behind the visual. We have a
Yeah.
special, talented, amazing guest today. She goes by the name of CRiDDLE.
Yes.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, what's
up? It's such an interesting name. That's why I want to start. Like, how did
Yeah.
you get that nickname, that stage name?
Yeah, so it derives from Crystal. In high school, I was in this like speech and debate kind of thing,
Word.
and we had this teacher, Mrs. Langston,
Langston.
and she was honestly the best. Like all of us loved her so much, and she would just call me CRiDDLE.
Mhm.
She'd be like, CRiDDLE, come over here, CRiDDLE. And all the other kids would start calling me CRiDDLE. And so, like, all my friends were in speech and debate also. So, basically, all my friends were calling me CRiDDLE. And for a while, when I was making music, I went by Crystal Clayton, which is my name.
Mhm.
But I don't know. One time it was during quarantine, and I was, like, tripping on mushrooms.
Nice.
And I was, like, I just had this epiphany, like, CRiDDLE, like, and also my Instagram was already CRiDDLE Clayton. Like
Mhm.
ever since I had made an Instagram, it was CRiDDLE Clayton, so everything was kind of CRiDDLE Clayton. So I just had this epiphany when I was like tripping on mushrooms. I was like, I'm CRiDDLE, and like CRiDDLE is like this, yes,
Yes.
it was like this like alter ego
Ego.
kind of thing, and I was just like, I don't know, it's different, you
Mhm.
know.
No, it's dope when you find your stage name or your nickname. It's like
Yeah.
the confidence that it gives you. Like, I believe
Yeah.
in like the power of like your name and what it means, but
Mhm.
when we get to choose like the nicknames or things that we get to choose, like really shows like our personality. So it's
Yeah.
it's so interesting
Yeah.
to hear it, but every time I hear it, it catches me. I'm like, that's unique. I've never heard
Yeah.
someone like use that. So that's really
Yeah.
dope.
Thank
So
you.
where'd you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Kansas City, on
Kansas
the
City.
Missouri side.
Okay.
People are always like, "You're from Kansas?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from Missouri." Um, and yeah, I mean, it was just super chill, like a very laid back community. And, I think that mentality is kind of what took me a while to like get out to LA
Mhm.
and to really like kickstart my career going, because there it's like a slower lifestyle, and here everything is so like, fast paced and like a hustle and like a go. And I feel like I was born here in LA, and my parents, they moved us to Kansas City when I was pretty young. So I'm always like, what if I had been raised out
Right,
here? And I
right.
do feel like I probably would have just like come out the gate like hustling harder just
Right.
because it's like the lifestyle out here. But I'm also grateful for where I came from, because I feel like there's a lot of genuine people where I'm from.
Definitely.
It's like the Midwest, it's known for being very like hospitality and, that kind of stuff. So I think that that's part of my personality that is a good thing.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I grew up in the South, and I would hear like like things about Kansas City. They would say like
Yeah.
the barbecue was
Barbecue,
fire.
yeah.
That it has like a blues and a jazz kind of like.
Yeah.
So
Huge jazz.
what was the music scene like out there? Like, how did
Yeah.
that influence you?
So I actually grew up singing. Okay, so I grew up singing a lot of like classical music, but I
Okay.
also grew up singing a lot of country music.
Okay.
My parents would have me go around singing in these like little country opera houses, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I was like, my mom had me in this like pink cowboy hat and these pink cowboy boots,
Wow.
and everybody was like, "Oh, she's so cute." And I'm
Mhm.
like, But I mean, okay, I hated it, but I also loved it because I loved to sing and I loved to perform. So, I just like endured it. Yes, Kansas City has huge jazz roots and history. I really wasn't in that scene much, and I kind of regret that because it's really cool.
Yeah.
I mostly, once I got old enough to like be writing my music and stuff, I sang a lot of like pop music, which is what I'm doing now. Um But I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely went to like the 18th and Vine. They have a lot of they have like open mics and like jazz nights and stuff, and it's really cool.
It's really sick.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in Louisiana, I just have appreciation for like jazz music, blues music, and that's what I would hear a lot about, like Kansas City. Like, are you into like the sports in the city, like the Royals?
Listen, you
the
cannot
Chiefs?
be from Kansas City and not be a Chiefs fan.
Yes.
And like, obviously when the Royals were good a few years ago,
right.
they're not good now. But like at that time, everybody was obsessed with the Royals, and now everybody's obsessed with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, and honestly, it's so funny because my dad has been a Chiefs fan my entire life.
So he was with them when they were like kind of trash.
They sucked, and he'd be like, "This is our year, yeah," and like he's such a diehard fan, and I'm such a bandwagon, and I was just like, "Okay, yeah, Dad, whatever," you know. And now I'm like, "Yeah, Chiefs."
Now y'all got Patty Mahomes. Y'all killing it.
Yeah.
How you enjoying living in Cali? Like being a songwriter, a musician. Like how are you loving this Cali like lifestyle scene?
I love it here. Yeah. I mean, it is expensive.
Yeah.
And it's a really tough business, and there's a lot of talented people out here. So it's like, you know, there's a lot going on, but I mean, it's really cool, and there's like, that's a good thing. There's always things going on, and there's always new people to meet. There's always talented new people to work with and just expand on artistry. And I've met the most incredible people since I've been here.
Oh, dope.
I feel really blessed that I, you know, was able to connect with a group of people, or like, you know, several groups of people, but just find some really good friends out here. Because I always had felt like I had heard that there were a lot of fake people in Cali, and there are, but I feel like there's a lot of people not from here come here, so you connect with people from all over, and yeah, there's a lot of really awesome people.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Like, did you have any of those like horror stories where like a guy comes up, you know, I'm a producer, but then he's just trying to get your number, trying to like quid pro quo, like type of situations and things like that?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's like, you know, a part of the music industry, and like especially when you're like a talented, attractive like person, like they unfortunately try to take advantage and see how bad you want it, and that sucks, you know.
To see how far they could take advantage of
yeah. I don't let it get that far, like, and I can see how it would be really difficult for like young women to fall into that, because, you know, you have a dream and you want it so bad and you would do anything for it, and there's been times in the back of my mind I've been like, would I do anything for it? But at the end of the day, like, I just live my life with doing what makes me feel comfortable and doing what makes me feel happy. And luckily, I've encountered I have encountered that, but luckily I've really stuck with people who have made me feel very comfortable and who I've become friends with. And luckily, I've been able to make music with people that I'm friends with. And yeah, so far I've had mostly good experience.
Good.
Yeah.
Being writing your material, like, are you like classic like notebook? Or are you writing it in the phone? Or are you going in the booth and like freestyling a little bit?
Oh man, I cannot freestyle. I can freestyle like melodies and like hooks. I could probably come up with like a cool hook, but lyrics, no. I used to write on a notebook a lot, and I kind of miss that. I need to bring those back out. I think my cat peed on them.
Oh shit.
And I like never revisited after that. So I write mostly in my phone. I do a lot of voice memos, because sometimes, literally I think it was this morning or yesterday morning, I had a tune in my head while I was like asleep still, like that in between state of being asleep and being awake. And whenever that happens, I always try to will myself to get up and record it in my phone, because a lot of times it's like heat, you know, I don't know, like whatever creative mind state you're in, like in between sleep and being awake.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm just like too out of it and I can't do it. But yeah, my voice memos have a lot of really interesting things in there.
Things in there. Nah, we got to release that one day, like as a bonus, bonus track. And that's what I like about writing, because you can always save that. You can pass that on to your kids. Like when you make it big time, like you can have you can frame some of your lyrics and things like that. So that's really cool. Sure. Like when you get to write it down. But I'm the same way. Like when I'm taking notes, I just write it in the phone. I'm trying to get back to actually writing on paper, but because it's so easy, we have these devices in our our hand. For people that haven't heard your music, how would you describe it? Like your
My music, yeah. So it's very, it's all pop basically, but there's different. Some of them are gonna be more pop R&B. Some of them are a little more hip hop pop. Some of them are straight up, dance pop.
Twerking, booty shaking.
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I think I try to keep it, when I made music under Crystal Clayton and I was working with other producers, some of my songs, they were all sounding too different,
Oh, okay.
I literally played a show when I first got out here, and I had one song that was kind of like an EDM song, and then the next song was basically an R&B song, and some guy after the show came up to me and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you were so good, I loved all your songs." He was like, none of them really sounded like they went together. And he was like, "I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I loved all of them." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I think that I'm kind of trying to keep them, cohesive. But at the same time, I just love exploring different things that my artistry can do. I never would really rap in my songs before, but it's not really rapping. It's singy rapping, Doja Cat does the singy rappy thing, and a lot of artists do. So I'm kind of exploring a little more of that in some of my recent songs, and
For sure. Cool. What's some of your so we could hone it in? What are some of your favorite albums?
So Anti Rihanna, my all-time #1 favorite album. Yes.
Believe it or not, that's in probably one of my top 20.
Really?
I love music, but that's in one of my top 20 of all time. That's a perfect album.
It's flawless.
Yes.
I'm obsessed.
And I get into arguments because I like to compare things, because it's when you compare things, it's you're bigging up both and showing how much you love it, but in the sense of okay, one, I love this one more because of this. So I always kind of compare it to Beyonce and Rihanna. I'm Beyonce is the queen.
Yeah.
But I feel she hasn't made an album as good as Anti.
Right.
But very few people have.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
And so that's always a topic and discussion with some of my friend groups of when it comes to that album, because that album is great. So you like that. So you do but I feel that has different ranges of songs on there.
Yeah,
it's not so cohesive where it was it wasn't a theme. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She just picked a good flow, a range of music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know. Her team, whoever helped her put that album together, or I don't know, just fucking genius. Literally genius. Anyways, anyone else?
You just gush. I love it because you're Rihanna, that's so dope.
Yes.
So that's that's the energy we have to put out in the universe, is the CRiDDLE and Rihanna collab.
If she would ever,
I believe she would.
Down,
well, we got to get her back in the studio. We got to get the first. We got to get her back into dropping music. But you would. Yeah. That would be dope. What would be the song title? If you hypothetically, do you like naming your songs? Do you like naming them?
I hate naming my songs.
Word.
Because I don't like always going for the obvious name, and I feel I do a lot just because I have a song called Take Me On, and I say Take Me On in the song over and over and over again, and it's if I named it anything else, it wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
But I kind of don't like that it's so obvious that that's what the name is. But whatever, it's a cool song.
That's the pop thing.
Yeah.
It's a pop
I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have this song that I released a couple years ago called Falter. And I literally don't say falter at all in the song. It was the name of one of the instruments that the producer had used to make the song. So he just like named the beat Falter initially. And then I wrote to it. And then I was just like, this is a dope name. I like it. And like none of the, like I couldn't think of anything that made extreme sense for the name. So I was just like, we're going to keep Falter because it's a dope name. So there's that.
Nice. Do you like, do you love recording or performing more? Or is it a tie?
I love performing. It's like my favorite thing to do.
Nice.
Yeah. And lately I've been performing. I have like some dancers with me. So we'll do our show with dancers. And I'm going to have a show on September 14th where I have a little bit of a band. It's not going to be a full band, but it's going to be like a drummer. And I'm not exactly sure yet. But I'm going to have a band and I'm going to have my dancers. And it's going to be lit. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
There's like...
Hey, turn up.
Drums and like live instruments bring another level of energy to a live show that is crazy and like kind of unmatchable. But we still turn up with like the tracks, you know. We still turn up, especially with the dancers. We turn up.
Yeah, no, this is like my first day officially meeting you, but I actually saw you perform before at the the something dope
really?
show.
Oh,
Yeah,
dope.
when I went saw Falana Boss perform,
okay.
and it's crazy like how the universe works because I remember seeing Bundy in the crowd.
Yeah.
Also, so like we all doing this like pod together, you know. That's an infamous day, you know. And and me and Falians like some of us, a lot of us got COVID that night.
That night.
Yes. Right. Hey, but
What?
we came out for the stars though. So like no, and I saw your performance like. And I was like, dang, this is dope. You know, like, so it's crazy that we're here now.
It was a good show. That was not my personal favorite performance.
What's your favorite performance that we could?
Okay, so Fly on a Boss actually performed at my EP release party.
Oh, word.
My EP release party was back in October. And, Something Over the People used to put on shows at Black Star Burger.
Okay.
Which, shout out to Jordan, because Jordan St. Pierre. Shout out to you because he has made some crazy shit go down in LA. It's not open anymore, but there was a burger place, Black Star Burger, off of Fairfax. He made it the most lit venue in LA. He took a burger place, not set up to be a venue at all, and put a stage in the middle of a burger store, like burger place. And it was so lit. We packed, I helped put the show together, so we packed that place out. And it was so lit. And there were like lights everywhere. And it was... dancing and fun, and it was the best time. It was the best show of my life.
What EP was that?
So I released my EP All in My Head last summer. No, I guess it was in October because it was my release party. So All in My Head came out in October of last year. And it's a 5-song EP. And we did the thing, and I had my dancers, and it was lit, and it was the best night ever.
Where can we find that? Where can we find that EP?
It is on all streaming platforms.
All streaming, okay.
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you go for your listening needs.
I'm gonna make sure I'm on the way to work today. I'm gonna make sure I blast that. See that because like that night sounds like eventful. It sounds dope. I'm mad I wasn't there.
The best night of my life.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
When you were younger and you were bored, how did you find creativity? How did creativity find you while you were bored? Or how did it cure your boredom?
Yeah.
Or even now?
When I was younger, I was always writing like little songs and stuff. I didn't like take writing seriously until I was a teenager, but I would just like write little songs. I would write songs about my cats. Like little kitty songs. So one summer when I was like maybe 11 or 12 or something, me and my brother were home for summer break alone. Our parents were at work, and we like got out the video camera and started making these little skits. You know,
fire.
like I don't know if you ever watched like the Amanda Show or like
Yeah.
all
Oh,
that,
yeah,
or like
yeah.
kind of like SNL.
Mhm.
And we like did our own version of that one summer when we were little kids, and it was the dumbest shit ever.
guys had a bunch
It
of
was
fun.
so dumb, but it was so fun. And like I feel like all my life I've always just been creating things. So,
Naturally, yep.
yeah. I mean, like we literally just had my parents' camcorder and or like thing, but yeah, it's good.
Oh, hell
Good
yeah.
times.
No. I love hearing, like John stated, that's kind of the premise of like the podcast in the title,
Yeah.
like Art Kills Boredom, and like
Yeah.
how, what we do to like elevate ourselves, make a higher frequency,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
us out of
yeah.
that docile like state.
Right.
So it was cool that like you had like siblings to like really put on like a mini talent show every time you wanted to. Like growing up with a camcorder, like, oh, you always want to record something just because it's like there. Like,
yeah.
so it makes sense that like TikTok is working, Instagram is working, because we grew up like damn, like I wish I could take this like camcorder outside the house. I could like record my friends and this and that. But now we could do that. Like, how are you with social media? Like, you feel like it's a hassle? Is it fun? Is it?
It's fun, but I don't know. I think like there's a barrier for me with like what I want to share with the world. You know, sometimes my mom is like, just video you cooking in the kitchen. You know, you're a vegan and you're making these vegan meals. Like, just video you cooking. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to share that.
Content is content. Everything is content these days, and everything helps push your brand forward.
It's hard.
We're not people anymore. We're brands.
Walking brand. You could say like your favorite vegan recipe. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not bad. I'm not bad at social media. I keep up with it.
Yeah.
Pretty okay. Not to some levels.
Right.
I do.
No, I mean I missed the age of it. I mean, that's why I appreciate like an artist like Frank Ocean. Like, we don't know what he's doing at this moment. Like he probably has like 2 or 3 posts on Instagram his entire time.
Literally.
So
And
it's
that's
like,
kind of like what Adele was saying. Like, she doesn't even have to post on Instagram. You know, she just people already fuck with her, and like she doesn't have to do that.
for sure. Well, like we like say, look in the camera. Tell everybody where we can find you on social media, all platforms, things like that.
Yes, my name is CRiDDLE. You can find me at CRiDDLE Clayton, CRiDDLE CLAYTON. Type that name in anywhere and I pop up. And then CRiDDLE CRiDDLE is on Spotify and YouTube and wherever you go to listen to your musics. I'm there. Check it out. Connect with me.
Nice.
Thanks for having me.
Oh no, CRiDDLE, thanks for coming through. Bundy, he's amazing. He's a dope. So I'm glad I got to meet you through him, and the universe is like, so want to send you great energy. I know you're gonna make it. Like, your music is amazing. Like the tracks that we were just listening to, I was like the unreleased. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta be up on game, you know what I'm saying, up on it to get that. But thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
And this has been another episode of Art Kills Boredom.
Yes.
We had fun. We signing out.
You already know what the it is.
Hey.